Evans Opoku Bobie,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue, shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Honorable Evans Bobie, I congratulate you on behalf of the committee. You have appeared before us before, so you know the rules. You will tell us a little about yourself, and after that we will ask you questions relating to your CV and your work. You, like Opoku, you have been at the ministry, so you should know that people will have a lot of questions for you, unlike Cynthia, who was just a beginner. So we are ready. Let's listen to you.
My name is Evans Opoku Bobie. I was born on 1st December 1974 at Goso, but I hail from Nadiesoaba in Brunhafo region. I am married with 2 children. I am a Christian, 1 wife, and a Ghanaian too. I attended my primary and junior high schools at Mehame Methodist School from September 1982 to 1990. I then proceeded to Jamfiku Manyene Senior High School, where I did my SSS from January 1991 to December 1993. I also went to University of Ghana, Legon, to do diploma in adult education, and that was August 2000 to May 2002. I also attended the same University of Ghana, that is Legon, from August 2005 to May 2008, where I did a Bachelor of Arts degree in social work with psychology. And then went to University of Cape Coast to do Master of Arts in Development Management, and that is from August 2009 to May 2012. I have also worked with our community bank. That is from 2003 to 2016. I also did a national service from 2002 to 2003 at Asunafo North Municipal Assembly with Department of Community Development. September 1994 to 1996, I taught as a people teacher at Asunafo Educational Complex and the Ghana Education Service at Goso. And then September 1997 to 2000, I got transferred from Asunafo Educational Complex to Dominancy GHS as a people teacher in the same municipality. I am a member of Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament and then Poverty Reduction Committee of Parliament. I've also held a number of positions. I was a general manager for Half Community Bank from 2010 to 2016. July 2008 to 2009, I was also personnel officer at Half Community Bank. And then October 2003 to July 2005, I was the credit manager of our community bank. I've also held a political position. That was May 2000 to May 2002. I was a TESCON organizer at the University of Ghana, Legon. I've also attended several conferences to build my capacity. 23rd to 26th February 2004, I attended a conference on delinquency management and portfolio reporting for rural and community banks. 8th to 10th May 2009, I also attended a sensitization workshop on ARB Apex Bank regulations. And then 2nd to 7th August 2012, I attended a similar workshop on anti-money laundering and combating terrorism. And then 21st to 22nd May 2005, I attended a workshop on business continuity for rural and community banks. And then 20th to 21st August 2015, I attended another workshop on bad debt management for rural and community banks. I am also a member of West African Nobles Forum, where I had an award for upholding virtues of honesty, integrity, and accountability. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representing which people?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representing Asunafo North constituency.
As at 5th January 2017, what was your role relative to page 2 of your CV? 5th January. Were you a member of the 5th January? Were you a candidate, an elected member, or a sworn-in member? And the committees you attribute 5th January, what was your status?
As at 5th January 2017, I was an elected member, yet to be sworn in as a member of parliament.
Chairman, come to your CV. Parliamentary committees, do we have your permission to correct the dates, or what you are submitting is accurate?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you have my permission to correct the date.
Chairman, the nominee will be the present representative, in my view, under the decentralized provisions of the Constitution, and the President captured that rightly in his appointment letter. There are those who come under Article 78(1), and those of you who come under the decentralized regime. What plans do you have for cashew and poultry in the Brown Half region for the youth of the region?
Thank you very much. Cashew production in Brown Half region is a booming business. Many of the cashew farms in Brown Half region are old, and for that matter, they cannot bear fruit. In the MPP's manifesto, we pledge to improve the cashew production in Brown Half region. And for that matter, the President in April this year launched a cashew development board at Wenchi. And so if I'm giving a nod, I would work in collaboration with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to ensure that more seedlings are nursed and distributed to the farmers and the youth to go into the cashew production. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, my question was in two phases. You've answered cashew. Poultry holds a lot of future in the Brown Half region for the youth. And I know that the chiefs are particular in addressing unemployment. It's an economic enterprise that you can encourage the state to invest in and support. What plans do you have for the poultry industry in the region?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, poultry production holds the key to the total transformation of Brown Half region, because it's a sector where if a lot is invested, we can push a lot of youth into that sector. Touching on the plans that I have for poultry sector, number one, there are two issues. The first issue has to do with finance. We have a lot of poultry farmers in Brown Half region, particularly in Doma, and the challenge they face now is how to raise resources, finance, to be able to purchase the maize and the soya beans to feed the poultry. And so when I'm giving the nod, I will liaise with the financial institutions, try to put the poultry farmers into groups to assist them to get funds from the banks to be able to purchase the feed to feed the poultry animals. And then secondly, I would also encourage the youth and the poultry farmers to take advantage of the planting for food and jobs, where they can get improved seeds so that they go into maize cultivation on their own to be able to feed their poultry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me find out on funding the banking sector in Brahafo. What is the rate of repayment of loans that are given to farmers, in particular, poultry farmers, from your experience?
From my experience, poultry farmers have a very good rate of repayment because the eggs that they produce, there's market for that. And even the broilers, there's also market for that. So for poultry farmers, if you advance to them, you are likely to achieve 80–85% loan repayment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, the Brahafo is respected as a major source of the food basket of the country. However, did you travel by road to Accra for this process?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
When you were almost 120 kilometers between Kumasi and Sunyani, did you see the manhole on the road when you were coming?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Have you brought that to the attention of the Minister for Roads and Highways? And what will you do as Minister? Because in the night, you risk, if you were overspeeding, that you will remain in that particular area. But Chairman, that's my final. When you are traveling between Kintampo, coming towards Babatukuma area, security in the night, our traders feel very, very insecure, especially as they leave Kintampo, drifting towards Bupe and other area. Now, if you pass beyond Akumadan and you get into the other valley of the hill, same insecurity, give an assurance to this committee that you strengthen the operational surveillance of the security in that area.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that security is very important and paramount in our socio-economic transformation. And so when I'm giving the nod, I'm going to work closely with the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies in Brahafo region. Then I'm also going to try to find resources for the police service in the region to be able to embark on their normal patrols. And that is what I would want to say regarding the security in that area. And then concerning the potholes that you mentioned between from Sunyani to Kumasi, that is when you have draft pass Bichim Kwanta and you are descending through the Insuta around that area. That is where the manhole is. When I'm giving the nod, I am going to work with the Ghana Highway Authority to see how best we can fix it as early as possible. Thank you.
When you get a chance, you take off. So, yes, Honorable Dr. Clover.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I want to congratulate our colleague, Opoku Bobie. My question, first of all, when you are traveling from Nkuranza, Techiman to Yeji, you can connect sometime from Odumase to hit Ijura, then all the way to Atebubu and maintain they get to Yeji. I'm saying this because when the Bupe Bridge was being repaired, I traveled on that road. And the attention of the chiefs of Yeji traditional area was that if you want to return to Techiman and Nkuranza, there's a shorter road that connects Atebubu through Busuna, which we can reach in a very short distance. So I want you to assure the people of the Brong-Ahafo region, particularly those from that side, through east and west, that traveling all the way to Techiman, Nkuranza, to Kintampo, you don't need to come all the way down to Ejura, connect through Odumase, then you hit Nkuranza town. What are you going to do to make sure your people are connected faster there?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Many routes in Brong-Ahafo region are in deplorable state. Not that portion alone. I know for a fact that my predecessor submitted a list of all the routes in Brong-Ahafo region. And that when I'm giving the nod, I'm going to follow it up the Ministry of Highways to ensure that they are fixed. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, to add to what the minority leader said about insecurity, again, the Yeji Traditional Council, when I visited the Makango Yeji I Cross, spoke about the continual threats to traders by armed robbers after Atebubu all the way to Yeji is a serious threat to the life of the people over there. What assurance are you going to give this committee that you want to liaise with the security agencies? If it needs, we need to create more barriers on the road, frequent police and joint military patrols to make sure the people within that stretch of the region have their security. What assurance are you giving us? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I speak with you, we have intensified the police patrols at the stretch that you are talking about. And then we are going to continue on with that exercise. And if possible, beef it up with the security agency. Sometimes we also engage to assist. But then the barrier that you talk about is also another option that will be considered. Thank you very much.
Last question. All right. I have played Arctic soccer before, and the Coronation Park gives me fond memories when I played at Fiona United. I know currently Edwana Stars and Brekum are the two dominant clubs. But history tells us that Tanobo Fakwa and BA United are no more, or even if they are not as active currently. What are you going to do to support the BA will come back to return Bufakwa and BA United back to premiership? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I have also played football before. And if you look at my CB, football is one of my hobbies. And so when I'm giving the nod, I'm going to work closely with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the National Sports Council to see how we can revamp our Adriana, the Bofuakwa, and the BA United. Thank you very much.
Yes. Honorable Ogoja.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, I would like to congratulate the honorable nominee and just to seek a few clarifications from the nominee on his CV before I come to the substantive questions. I have a copy of the role of MPs. So I noticed that in Parliament, you are Honorable Opoku Bobie. I assume Opoku is your surname. But on your CV and the President's communications to us, you are Evans Opoku Bobie. Can we know exactly what your surname is and what is the accurate rendition of your name?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My surname is Opoku, and the accurate name is Evans Opoku Bobie. But the one you talked about was a mistake made on the floor of Parliament. In fact, I made a correction, but I don't know why it has not been corrected. So the right name is Evans Opoku Bobie, and the surname is Opoku. Thank you.
The surname is Opoku. So your surname is in the middle.
If your surname is Opoku, it should be the last, and it should be.
So your surname is not your last name. Is that the understanding?
That correction will be made. Yes.
He says the correction will be made, so he accepts that where it is placed now is wrong. So
okay. Okay, so for our records, it should be Evans Bobie Opoku. Okay, we would correct it accordingly. And educational background, do we have your permission to correct Cape Coast, University of Cape Coast? Cape Coast, they are two separate words. You've put them together. So I'm sure we'll have your permission to correct that. And
yeah, you can do so. Yes.
Thank you very much. And diploma in adult education. So we would correct that as well. Take out the S for adult. And your certificate at SSS should be SSSCE. So we would have your permission to correct that, to add the certificate examination to that as well, if that's okay by you. And
that's okay.
And I think that we'll just take note of the rest and amend them accordingly. Mr. Chairman, my first question to the honorable nominee has to do with the incident of irregular migration. It's a pet subject that I am quite passionate about. It does appear that a lot of the youth in Brong-Ahafo are using unapproved routes to travel outside, through Libya and all of that. And we have done some work at the Foreign Affairs Committee, and it's a concern we have. When given the nod as the regional minister for the Brong-Ahafo region, is this a matter you intend to take up? And what opportunities do you think we can create for the youth in the region? The kind of education that we can also carry out to advise them, because it's a very dangerous route. People are losing their lives and all of that. Is it a matter that has come to your attention? You were deputy minister, or you are still deputy minister, and what suggestions do you have to address this challenge?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the youth migration from Brong-Ahafo region to Europe is a major concern to Nananom and other stakeholders, particularly around Nkranza area. These youth seek greener pastures because they want to seek employment. When I'm giving the nod, first of all, I'm going to put together a committee comprising NCC, Foreign Affairs Ministry, to educate the youth about the fact that they need to stay at home to be able to help build Ghana, and for that matter, Brong-Ahafo. And so specifically what I would do is to link them up with the Planting for Food and Jobs Secretariat, and then the one district, one factory. When we are able to do the one district, one factory at Nkranza, where we are trying to do a food processing factory, and even Techiman pepper processing factory. I think that when these two projects are brought on board, the youth will stay and they will not migrate. Thank you very much.
Chairman, my last question for the honorable nominee has to do with your vision. Do you have a vision for the Brong-Ahafo region? If given the nod, God willing, by the end of the president's first term, what is your vision for the Brong-Ahafo region if you are made to stay in the position to the end? What vision are you going to the region with as substantive minister?
Thank you very much. Security, peace, and stability are a very good ingredient for economic transformation. And so when I'm giving the nod, my vision will be that to ensure optimum security, peace, and stability in the region so that investors can come into the region to invest. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me do a follow-up on the investors. Do you know any very resourceful people from Brong-Ahafo living anywhere outside Brong-Ahafo?
Yes.
And have you approached any of them with a proposal that they invest part of their resources in the region, not building beautiful houses in Sunyani and Techiman, but income generating activity in the region? Have you made any such approach to any of them?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have personally approached two of indigenous of Brong-Ahafo region, and one is from Nkranza, Abia. He lives in Accra here. And then he's ready to come to Nkranza particularly to set up a factory so that the youth who are moving from Nkranza to Libya and other European countries will stay to work. If you come to our side, I also know one man who is from Emem, and he lives in Chicago in the United States of America. He is also ready to come to set up a factory that will go into Gary processing at the Ahafo side of the Brong-Ahafo region. And so when I'm giving the nod, I will continue to look for other prominent people who are from the region also to come on board to assist in the development of the region. Thank you.
That's a very good initiative. I encourage you, because if the indigenous don't invest there, then it's difficult to expect anybody else to invest there. I lived in Nkranza a little, so I have a passion for Nkranza. A lot of maize production. The next step is to process them. So I'll be looking out for it. Yes. Any other members who want to ask? You're tired. Hi. Honorable Lecturer, yes, I'll give you the floor.
Mr. Bobie Opoku, you have been a deputy minister for some time. And recently, your region was in the news as you act as a minister. What is the composition of the Regional Security Council?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The composition of the Regional Security Council is made up of the regional minister and his deputy. And then we have all the heads of the security agencies are also part of the Regional Security Council. And then the municipal chief executive at Sunyane Municipal Assembly is also a member of the Regional Security Council. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It is good that you've emphasized on security. Without security, you cannot have development. Without peace, it will be extremely difficult for you to attain development. From the little experience we have gathered, what is the major cause of any problem, instability in the Brong-Ahafo region? Many times, people talk about land issues. Others talk about chieftaincy disputes. And in some cases, they mention generally crime. What do you think is the major one affecting your region?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The major security threats or the cause in Brong-Ahafo region are the two ones that you mentioned. Number one is the chieftaincy disputes, and then the political violence. But with political violence, it occurs during the political season. Yes, yeah. So it's a seasonal cause. So these are the two major causes of insecurity in Brong-Ahafo region: the chieftaincy and then the political violence. Thank you.
On the political violence, how do you use your MPs and your MPs in the region? I'm not cooking the answer. I'm looking at some faces. It is their constituencies that are where the problems are. So how do you, yes. The cause of the problems are here. You sit here with them in Parliament. How do you use them to solve the problem?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that we should continue as MPs to engage ourselves to see that I think that we should continue to engage ourselves as MPs to see that if we are the cause of the troubles, then we are not doing our people the good that they deserve from us. And so we can only continue to advise some of our colleagues who are the cause of the problems to desist from that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. You talked about your food, jobs, and what else? Now, Brong-Ahafo is known to be producing a lot of these things already. But the marketing is a major problem. And I know that you have some factories also helping to process this. How will you resolve the confusion between those who produce and want to sell and those who want to export and those who want to process locally? Because sometimes there is a competition between the two. As a regional minister, how will you go about resolving this seeming confusion?
Thank you very much. It is a fact that when you come to the agricultural value chain, what is missing is the marketing. And so with the coming of Buffer Company, now that problem has been reduced a bit in Brong-Ahafo region. But going forward, I think that now that we have school feeding program in place, we have the free senior high school in place. When I am approved by this committee, I am going to link our farmers to the school feeding secretariat and the Free Senior High School, so that when they produce their maize, their yam, the beans, they can have ready market for them. Thank you very much.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. Honorable Makwene, you want to ask a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this great opportunity. I would only take the opportunity to congratulate the minister nominee and wish him well in his endeavor. I have no doubt that he's going to be a good minister. God bless you from the people of Atebe-Bawante constituency.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Yes, Honorable Chief Whip, it looks like people are satisfied with your work in the region, so they don't have many questions. Oh, okay. Sorry, I haven't seen your, yes, Uni.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Honorable Bobie is a colleague on the Lands and Forestry Committee, very affable, and I congratulate you. I wish you all the best. But my first question has to do with the process of creating new regions and the possibility of the Brong-Ahafo region being divided. I have seen a number of articles, especially related to the siting of the capital for the Ahafo region. What is your position on it, knowing that you actually have been reported to have knelt down before the committee to beg for the region to be given to the people? Is it Techiman or Atebubu?
Thank you very much. I think that, like you rightly said, the processes are still in place. We are still going through the processes. And that when we get to a point where a capital will be decided, I think that Nananom, together with the committee, would decide which place deserved the capital. That is what I can say for now.
And with your, I must put on record that I admire your zeal, especially when it comes to the efforts that you have put in place to revamp the wood industry in your region. As a member of the committee, I can attest to how active you were when our committee visited the region, and the potential to support the region and the industries that are there to create the jobs that are lacking, for which people have had to engage in dangerous trips outside the country is evident. Now, you were deputy minister then. As regional minister now, what will be your support, to these companies that have the potential to take advantage of the forest nature of the region to provide the jobs that they used to and even more in the past? What support will you give?
First of all, I would encourage these companies to go into plantations themselves. That is the first thing that I would do. And secondly, there is this program that the government is undertaking under Ministry of Trade. That is the stimulus package. So many of the companies are already, with my help and Nananom and other stakeholders, are already on the stimulus package, yet to receive some financial support from the government. And so I would continue to pursue that agenda when given the nod. Thank you very much.
agencies in the fight against corruption must pay attention to the use of royalties because you think it is abuse. And coming from the Brong-Ahafo region, one will say, you will know. I mean, how can we ensure that everybody with the responsibility of serving the public, does not abuse that responsibility?
Thank you very much. Corruption, as you said, is a very big canker to the progress of Ghana and, for that matter, Brong-Ahafo region. I think that we have a very beautiful laws to fighting corruption. So when I'm giving the nod, I would work to ensure that, for Brong-Ahafo in particular, I will work to ensure that the laws that we have to fighting corruption are implemented successfully. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chief Whip. Thank you very much. In an earlier question, you were able to identify two main causes of a lot of the conflict in your region, and you named them as politics, which is seasonal, and then chieftaincy. I just want to get your thought that when given the nod, what steps are you going to take to be able to minimize this conflict as much as possible, if not eliminate them completely?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Regarding the chieftaincy dispute, when I'm giving the nod, I am going to work in collaboration with the Brong-Ahafo Regional House of Chiefs to try to see if we can withdraw all the chieftaincy cases pending before court and use the dialogue alternative dispute resolution to solve them. And then with the political conflict, I think that we should engage in continuous education to our brothers and sisters and tell them that, look here, conflicts are not going to help us. So with the political conflict, I am going to use education to educate our people, particularly the youth. Thank you very much.
Well, with regards to the political dimension, you have your colleagues in the House from both sides. Will you consider constituting or instituting some programs within the region that will always bring them together and mingle, so that when the people that they are leading see that even though you are leading them from different divide, you are brought together, whether maybe Christmas or Easter, just some programs that will bring them together and therefore be able to demystify the thinking of your followers that you are at each other's throat and therefore they must also be at each other's throat. Will you consider such a program?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That will be considered when I'm giving the nod.
You have guinea fowl in Bravo.
No, we don't have plenty in Brong-Ahafo.
You have quite. A colleague who came here, I think it was Upper East region, that he'll bring them to there, give them a guinea fowl to eat, and you'll solve the problem. Yeah. So if you call your colleagues and bring, you bring some guinea fowl, you'll solve the problem.
Mr. Chairman, I strongly believe that this thing is something that regional ministers need to start looking at. Because if you can create a common platform, maybe even thrice in a year, I mean, very good one, maybe around Christmas, around Easter, and maybe around one of the Eid al-Fitrs. And both sides, you are seen together, you agree, you set the time, either dinner or some interactions, is the only way we can tell our people that we are not at each other's throat. We may have different views, we may express them very strongly, but we do not intend to hold each other's throat. Because when we argue, I mean, in Parliament, and obviously sometimes there are passions and what have you, it's been understood by our followers as if we got the chance, we'll have boxed.
Therefore, since we didn't get the chance, they have the chance down there, the mass box. So I'll be happy that this, that you have said you look at it. I'll follow up if you are given the nod